Hey everybody, welcome back to Munro Live. We have another electric vehicle today. BMW was kind enough to provide us with this Mini EV, and we're going to take it through its paces and do probably 3 or 4 episodes on it. In this episode, we're going to open the hood to see what's under the frunk. We're going to look at the interior, and we're really excited to see how this thing stacks up to the other 6 or 7 cars that we have already reviewed. But I also have a guest on today's episode, Paul Lester. He's been at Munro & Associates for a total of 8 years. Mm-hmm. You're originally from London, and you brought in
an original Mini.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the original Mini.
So this is a 1961. It's built in Britain, of course. It's the original Mini. Actually, it's the first 3 years of production is actually called an Austin 7. So this is actually an Austin 7. Launched in 1958, designed by a Turkish guy, Alek Izigonis. And it's really the poster child for lean design because it's got some real low-cost features. It's got external hinges, got external weld flanges, so you don't need complicated robots on the inside of the vehicle to put it together. If you look inside the doors, there's no secondary panel, no trim panel. There's just a pull cord to open the door. So it's low cost. That's how you open the door. The glass doesn't drop into the door. You just got sliders back and forth. Again, it's real low cost, low weight, easy to manufacture. So it was the starter of the vehicle. Front wheel drive vehicles having transverse engines. So I'll open the hood in a bit. The engine's cross car. This one's got the gearbox underneath, so it's a very compact package. So it's only 20% of the length of the vehicle, which is 10 feet. 20% is engine, and the rest is passenger space and luggage space at the back. So it's a real efficient package.
And now we're sitting here with what the BMW group is making for the current Mini, and look at how much bigger it is. It's incredible. The wheels on your Mini are how big?
10 inch.
10 inch. What is that, golf cart size? So you see 4 lugs, 10 inch wheels, and I don't even know if I could fit in this.
I mean, you can get 4 people and their luggage in there.
Yeah, but I'm 250 pounds.
Get in there, drive it.
No, I look like Mr. Incredible. Oh. My head almost sticks out the top.
That's why it's convertible.
Look at the shift lever. I know I'm on the wrong side, but all right. Oh, I love the door handle. Look at this. Look at the door handle. Yeah, talk about lean.
Yep.
All right. So our subscribers really want to check out this EV, and I'm not as qualified as Sandy Munro to look at gaps or paint, but from what we saw when this thing rolled in, the styling really hasn't changed since they launched this thing in the early 2000s. I think it was 2001, 2, 3.
Yep, 2001.
And red is one of the original colors that they made. This is not very customized. A lot of them can get custom mirrors and roofs. This has a full sunroof. But as I walk around, it's just a real clean, well-made car. And the first thing I want to take a look at is see what we got under the hood. Well, it looks exactly like it would if you had an internal combustion engine. Let's see what we got. First thing I notice is it has a low voltage vacuum pump. So it doesn't have an advanced 1, 2, or 3 box system for the brakes. They're sending right here through this wire 12 volts to this vacuum pump, which will run to pull a vacuum on the brake booster. So still has its standard internal combustion engine brake system with a brake booster. Can't see it. The second thing I notice is this wild weldment. So it looks to be steel weldment that surrounds this large inverter box. So I see you have your low voltage output, which means inside of here you have your DC to DC converter. You can see your negative line there, your positive line there. You'll have high voltage DC in from the battery, one of these. I can't see where the wires go, but one will run to the battery. The other one most likely will be to the charge port. Do you know where the charge port is on this?
It's in the back.
It's in the back? Okay. But compared to the Volkswagen ID4, this is worse. And the reason I say it's worse is because they have this tubular weldment around all of the high voltage electronics. And I can see an aluminum bracket that this large inverter sits on. It's sitting on the motor, the electric motor. And this mount right here looks exactly like a traditional transverse powertrain engine mount. So they're utilizing all of the engineering and effort that they had with an engine and a transmission sitting here. Now you have the steel weldment surrounding not only DC to DC converter, probably the charge module, but the inverter as well. And it's just clearly EV components jammed in an ICE vehicle.
Well, they probably build it up offline, put it on the cradle, and just load the whole thing up, right?
Yeah.
One unit.
Right here's the chiller. You can see ethylene glycol lines right here, one in, one out, or in or out. And this would be your refrigerant. Let's see what type of refrigerant it has. It's usually on the label right here. Nope. Most likely R1234YF right here. Some people give me a hard time. I say 1234YF. A lot of people call it 1234YF. So sorry about that. So what do you think, Paul?
Well, I had a Generation 1 BMW Mini. I loved it. It sort of kept the theme of the original, bigger car, more luxury. But then I got a Gen 2 and I didn't like it at all, and I don't quite know why. I didn't gel with the vehicle. But they still kept the same sort of theme going. They've got the wheels in the four corners. They've got the happy smiling face at the front. Just all the proportions are right, just on a bigger car. Interior obviously is a bit more luxurious than this thing.
And Paul also drives an EV.
I do, a BMW i3, yep.
Yeah. So this has a similar range to the BMW i3. I believe it's just over 100 miles of range. You currently have...
I've got the range extender, so I get a bit more.
A bit more?
Yeah.
But EV only, you're probably around 90.
Yeah, probably 80, 90, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Quick look at the rear of the vehicle. They got a pretty cool looking E thing there, like that. They got the Union Jack tail lights, love that. Look inside. So it's a small car, it's got a small trunk, but the rear seats fold flat, so I don't know what the volume is, but it's okay for a couple, I guess.
Sandy's first thing he does is he flips this up. There is some space, and looks like this can be removed. Be a little bit more space if you remove the load floor, charge cable, spare tire service kit, no spare tire. The seats do flip forward. I don't know where that lever is.
On top.
Yep. So the passenger seat's too far back for that to flip down, but you could get some decent cargo room if it's just you. But just a run-of-the-mill rear trunk area. I do not like this package shelf. I like the Kia sunshade better. So we noticed one more thing while trying to put the seats back up. This little gray lever, which is what I grabbed to try and flip the seats forward, flips this metal bar up, which allows the seat to be at a 90-degree angle. So you can have the seats reclined or forward with this metal bar that changes depending on whether you want the seats back like this, or, and you can change one or the other. Kind of neat. All right, Paul, so the gaps on this vehicle look pretty good to me. I'm no Sandy Munro. What's your take on this?
My personal opinion on gaps is the only person that is concerned with the gaps is the guy at the end of the line, maybe the styling people and Sandy. I'm in the industry. I have no idea what the gaps are on my car. I know they're horrible in the old one, but my daily driver, I have no idea. As long as stuff doesn't touch when I close the door, I really don't care. And the gaps only show up on a white car, really. On a black car, you can't even see them. One thing I do notice on this, though, is this must be a plastic filler door. It's a slightly different colour to the rest of the car, which is always a problem. You're painting steel or aluminum, then plastic. There's getting the colour match is very, very difficult. But the gaps on this, they look okay. I mean, I mentioned to you, Cory, the gap around this door is uneven, but is it offensive? I don't know. But getting a uniform gap around a non-rectangular or square fuel filler door is always an issue. And these guys have also put it on the feature line as well, which is another thing you've got to line up, which is, again, not an issue. Flush isn't that great, but again, who really cares? As long as it functions, there's no wind noise, and you can move stuff around, I don't think it really matters, personally, to me.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a look inside the car. So it's a frameless door, so when you pull the door open, the glass drops quickly. There's a little small button right there, which will help with that indication. The Tesla Model 3 and Model Y are like that. I'm going to hop in the other side. It is a nice cockpit feel. So they have this large center circle, which is reminiscent of the center circle on the 1961 Austin Mini over there. Still a shift lever here. A lot of the other EVs we look at will have a rotary dial. Eric said when he pulled it in here, he had to struggle with pressing a button on the side to put it in reverse or park. There is a small cluster that looks like it's attached to the steering wheel. Reminds me of the VW ID4. I'm struggling to see the top of it. Maybe that's how I'm positioned. But with interiors these days, all the OEMs do a phenomenal job. If you look at the fit and finish of the A-pillar trim, the B-pillar trim, the sun visors. Oh, look at that. There's a special side sun visor right here. I don't remember this. It's got two sun visors. You see that? And it actually doesn't move. So this is just a side sun visor because this doesn't slide. It's kind of convenient, but it is in the way. And it would be where a handle is. Odd. All right. So the start-stop button is in the middle here. This kind of reminds me of my racing days where I had toggle switches for start and stop, fuel pump as well. And it looks like that's how you fire the car up. It looks like there's some sort of color around the edge here. We'll have to see how all this functions when we do our short ride and drive. And right now I think it's really nice. The seats are cloth with some sort of vinyl or leather trim, but they're comfortable so far. All right, I'm gonna hop out now. Well, that's our quick first impression of the Mini EV. We'll have 3 or 4 more episodes to come. Once again, Sandy is on vacation. He's moving. So that's why we're introducing some new characters. We introduced Adam yesterday. We got Paul today. Munro & Associates is filled with ultra-capable engineers and industry experts. And we're going to be bringing more of them to you in the next few months. So once again, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, we really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Thanks again.